Hi, I'm Amanda, the group leader, and here are my teammates.
Joanne,
Albert,
Firzan.
And together we are Team
FAAZ.
Okay, so as for the slide 3, we created an analysis of the hot park for our integrated primer. The hot park is basically made out of various spaces that is sectioned out to 12 gardens and other functional spaces including food, beverage, refreshment, toilet and shelter. Those gardens are water garden, rooftop garden, silver garden, native garden, home garden and many more. As we believe that it is important to recognize how local plants coexist in the environment, we then integrate that concept on our project, where we specifically choose to proceed on a native cultural garden, where the vegetation are mainly tropical plant that is based on Singapore. Okay, next will be slide 4, and this is just the layout of the native cultural garden that we chose earlier. As you can see, the layout plan is made up not only of softscape of vegetation but also hardscape. It features out a shelter, resting area, a pond and vegetation compound. As for the shelter, it is a 3 meter x 3 meter size facing a large pond with plant screening and a bench with an open space facing the pond. We also have a walkthrough experience photo stated on the slide as well. Okay, for the next one, I'll be doing slide 5. So basically for this slide, it is an experience that the user will face within the space. And to be exact, the compound generally provides a private bubble for the user by having a heavy screening in every direction from the shelter. This function will not only give the user a great sense of privacy in the contrast of walking around the park, but also a sense of mystery of what's ahead. But it is not only that, the tall and dense vegetation accompanied by a nearby running stream of the space gives an effect of serenity and a circulation of cool breeze below the towering trees will serve a perfect cooling spot for users that seek out a shelter from scorching sun. Okay, now I'll pass the next slide to Joanne.
So the main purpose of this park is to get visitors closer to nature and to learn about these plants from up close. And I think that this particular area did this beautifully for us, as we felt like we were closed off from passers-by and therefore felt like we could quietly, in our own time, find out about these plants. It really is a feast for the senses in its own way because of the sound of the flowing stream and the shade that we were concealed in, which heightened all of our other senses to experience this space to the maximum. The stream also contributes to the success of this space as it cooled the space down even further, intensifying the already cooling factor of the tall trees surrounding. The spatial diagram. As you can see, there are two circulations, the primary and the secondary. This makes the space more accessible to visitors and also increases the chance of being discovered. As drawn, there are three spaces: the water body, the sheltered resting area, and the seating area. The sheltered resting area itself is screened by the vegetation that separates it from the water body, making the shelter a more private place to rest. This screening also prevents visitors in the shelter from directly seeing the water body, and therefore makes it a kind of a pleasant surprise. Moving on to the direct and indirect interrelationship of the spaces. Firstly, the plantings in sheltered resting area are directly related because of its goal to provide shade and cool the place down, as well as to form covered pathways. Secondly, because there was a deliberate vegetation screen between the two spaces, this leads us to think that the visitors were perhaps not meant to see the water body, therefore leading to these spaces being indirectly related. Thirdly, the seating area and the water body are directly related because of the seating area that was obviously placed in front of the pond for a reason, and that was for the viewers to admire the fishes and greenery surrounding the area. Now I'll be passing it over to Amanda.
The analysis of vegetation. We've analysed a total of 10 plant species, ranging from shrubs to palms. They are the Lea indica, Lysis spinosa, Pleuarium alternifolium, Illustrator dulcis, Melastoma malbathricum, Hanguana meliana, Vanilla graffiti, Pingan coronate, Nepholis exaltata, and Pandanus tectorius. And over on slide 10 is the condition and the contribution of the vegetation to its surroundings. Majority of the vegetation present are mostly in good condition and are healthy. However, there are exceptions though, like the Pandanus tectorius and Lea indica. The leaves at the bottom of the plant are dried up, and this is probably due to the lack of sunlight, as the leaves at the bottom are unable to receive sunlight or very little sunlight. And this can be seen in figure 1, leaves of the Lea indica. Besides being shelters and home to many of the faunas, it is also a source of food for them, resulting in the several holes. Lush and dense vegetation surrounds the gazebo. It acts as a barrier for sight and sound, allowing its users to experience exclusiveness and privacy. The landscape architect used different textured plants and colors to enhance the space, creating a spacious effect. Also, I feel that he or she has done an excellent job in creating such spatial experience through the choice of vegetation selected. However, I feel that less coarse textured plants should be placed around the gazebo. It played its part well by blocking out sight and sound. However, it unintentionally obstructed the airflow, causing the area around the gazebo to feel a little bit stuffy. Now, I'll be passing it over to Firzan.
Moving on to slide 11 on our analysis of hardscape materials. As you can see, we have indicated the different kinds of materials the hardscape elements are made of, as tasked. We have also gave our opinions on the usage of these things and what we think they have contributed to the setting. This includes the visual aspect and the overall experience the place is able to provide to users.
Thank you for your time. And do you have any questions?